Every day, millions of people all across the world celebrate their birthday. But it's not every day that someone hits the incredible milestone of celebrating their 100th birthday. Well, today, that is exactly the case for one West Bloomfield resident. Lila Laclair is turning 100 years old today, having been born on September 17th, 1925. Now, to paint the picture a little more clearly, back in 1925, television did not exist. Alaska and Hawaii had yet to become official states, and the President of the United States, Calvin Coolidge. That's president number 30 for all you history buffs out there. And Lila has seen it all. An incredible life of memories, families, faith, and more. I had the chance to speak with Lila at her home a couple days ago to learn about her life and the reflections as she prepared to turn a century old.
I don't feel 100. And to me, it's just me, and I'm just living another day. I can't fathom all the fuss that's being made over me because I've lived to be 100, or I'm living to be 100. I never dreamed, I never even thought about living that long. Never occurred to me that I would ever live that long.
What do you think is the secret to living a long and healthy life?
Well, growing up on the farm, we had everything natural. We had our own beef, we had our own pork, we had our own chicken, fresh milk, not pasteurized, fresh milk. My mother made her own butter. We had a garden. And I can remember when canning came in, and my dad would have a beef that would be butchered, and she would can the meat. Actually, cut it up in chunks and can it. They had a way of, so I got fresh milk to drink. I got fresh vegetables. They were probably canned, but in the summertime they were fresh. So I never got osteoporosis because I had fresh milk all the time. I think it was a very good way to begin your life with all that fresh stuff.
Healthy living, of course, playing a big role in making Lila the woman she is today. And even at 100 years old, Lila still does many things to stay active, and she is even still able to drive. I should mention, Lila did offer me a ride around town to prove her capabilities, and although I believe her, I did have to decline. But having lived 100 years, there's a lot of news and major world events that she's lived through, including World War II. Lila told me what it was like first hearing the news of the war and a reflective journey she made later on in her life.
Well, I was in high school when we were attacked in Pearl Harbor. And I didn't even learn about it until I went to school on Monday. I mean, that's how far away from the real life was at that time. And at that time, it didn't mean a whole lot to me. I didn't know where Pearl Harbor was. But I lived through that. I didn't meet my husband joined at 17 and was shipped overseas. I didn't meet him until after the war. So I lived through that, and eventually I got to go to Pearl Harbor. We took a cruise across where one of the American ships had been sunk, and it's still under the water. You walk across this bridge, and there's this big memorial. And the odd part of it was not only were the Americans there, the Japanese were there too, visiting. But they got along. There was, but it's just amazing to think of all those poor boys buried in that ship.
I'd imagine that would be an emotional journey for anybody to take. Another big component in Lila's life has been her strong faith in God, which she told me has helped her through some darker times in her life, such as the loss of her husband and her son, and brought her out to the other side. How long were you married?
Almost 59 years. He's been gone for 13 now. It'll be 13 years. He died in October in 2012. Everybody loved him. I think they loved him more than me. Anyway, no, everybody loved him. We had a wonderful life. We really had a wonderful life. And church was one of the main things in our life. We started going to church when our daughter was very young, and church was a big part of our life as a married couple, yes. The main thing in my life, I think, the main thing that's carried me through. And I lost my one and only son. He's been gone 8 years now. And but God got me through them both. And people wonder, how do you get through? Well, you just go on one day after another and cherish your memories, your wonderful memories, and my great family that I have left. My grandkids, my great-grandkids, my daughter, my son-in-law. Big part of my family that holds us all together. And my son-in-law has a favorite saying that I have. They'll say, "How are you today?" He'll say, "Too blessed to complain." And I love that expression. I've copied it. I've taken it from him and used that a lot myself.
The biggest thing I took away from my discussion with Lila is how much family means to her. It's the most important thing in the world. As Lila mentioned, she is a mother, a grandmother, a great-grandmother, and even a great-great-grandmother, if you can believe it. And this past Sunday, her family came out to surprise her with a wonderful 100th birthday celebration that Lila told me took her breath away.
I was floored, absolutely floored. It started in the church service when they sang happy birthday to me, the whole congregation. And then the preacher, when he got up to speak, he said, "Lila, I wore a pink shirt and a pink tie today just for you." But when I walked into the room where they had it all decorated and the meal was catered, it just blew me away. Just literally blew me away. And the crowd, I couldn't believe. And while we were eating, they kept coming up. "I want a picture with you. I want a picture with you." It's just me. I'm just floored at the fuss that was made over me yesterday.
Means a lot to you that they were all there?
Oh, my, yes. Oh, my, yes. And my daughter was there, blessed by sweet Judy. She's the joy of my life. Yep. She means everything to me. And my grandkids. I love my family.
Seeing the amount of love Lila's family has for her would bring a tear to anybody's eye. I had an incredible time speaking with Lila, and before I wrap things up, I asked her what the biggest piece of advice she had to offer for anyone living their life.
Positivity. You've got to be positive and stop finding fault with everything, every little thing, just because they don't agree with you. You know, you might be wrong, and they might be right, and I might be wrong, and you might be right. So have a discussion, but stay positive.
Wise words that everybody can take with them. Cheers to you, Lila. Happy 100th birthday from all of us here at Civic Center TV. We hope you have another incredible day in what's already been an incredible life.